world, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Red Dead Redemption 2. My name is Kelthos, and in the last episode, we had done a few things, and we did a bounty and picked up a lady and brought her back to Valentine, and then we met Emmett Granger. He was over here and he was a big dick, and he told us that if we shoveled pig shit, that he would tell us something about the dude that we're after information for, which is like Calloway, I think his name was, or something. But he lied to us and just told us stories about himself instead because he wanted the book to be about him. So we blew up his shit pile and splattered him with shit, so then he got mad enough to try to fight us. And so we fought him, killed him, stole his gun, took a picture of him, and now we're going to head over here because I was on my way back to talk to Dutch, and I ran into a guy whose stagecoach was getting stolen, and he said the company's going to write it off as a loss anyway, so because I saved him from the O'Driscolls that were trying to steal the stuff from him, I could take the stuff. So I did, and I took the wagon itself, so now I'm going to go back to this wagon fence over here and sell it, and then I'm going to go to town and do what I was going to do in the last episode. So here we go. Hope I don't get caught by the law for doing this. It's going to take me a while to get over there, but we're going across a place that we haven't been before, I think. So, yeah. So I'll leave this in. Whoops. I just gotta make sure I stay on the road and don't crash into anybody. I thought he was gonna say something, but he was just saying, ha! And I need to not go too fast, because if I go too fast, I'll break the wagon. Oh shit, guys. Shit, I'm sorry. No. Run. Oh, I died, motherfucker. Damn it. I didn't mean to run into him, or run him over, or shoot. Fuck. Now where the hell am I? So much for that wagon. Damn it. And I lost money for dying, too. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a drink of water. I keep getting messages about having new things in our journal, so we're just gonna read the journal. I don't remember if we did in the first episode or not. But yeah. We're gonna read up to where we are now. Okay, so this is back when we were in Blackwater. Wait. Yeah, I was gonna read at the very beginning. Yeah. Okay, this is at the very beginning. This is before we even went to Coulter. I bought this new journal after the last one got destroyed in that fire all those months ago, whenever that was. I haven't written or drawn much in the past few months. I was missing it more than I thought I would, so I'm finally near a store, so here I am, I guess. After all that business up north and the fire, we spent a few months in the wilderness traveling down from the northern grizzlies. Stuck mostly in the western foothills of the mountains during the worst of the winter. Food was easy to find and life was good. Dutch had a lead for some land we were going to buy, but the land did not match up to his criteria, or he got spooked. We were being watched by the law, and that somebody knew who he was. And we never bought it, and we are wandering still. We picked up a couple new folk in the Grizzlies. Jenny is a sweet young girl we met abandoned on the roadside, and Micah, an outlaw Dutch, met in a bar someplace. Dutch seems very taken with Micah, who is pretty hot-headed, argumentative, and full of himself. Jose and I are less sure. Guess we shall see. Eventually we came out of the wilderness and are now holed up outside of Blackwater, although sometimes I stay in town hunting for opportunities. I might be onto something. We got plenty of money, and the trail we took was so treacherous and slow that nobody could have followed us south or east or figured out where we was heading. We was thinking about California, but then Dutch and Hosea brought us down to Blackwater. Blackwater has apparently grown a lot since any of them was last here. I was told to expect little more than a trading post, but the place is growing fast and it's almost a small city. The town seems to be riddled with corruption, but there's plenty of money here. It's good to be sleeping in a bed from time to time and living a more civilized life after so long under the canvas, but I do not particularly like being near a town. He doesn't like civilization in general. We're living here, camping outside town mostly, hidden in plain sight, I guess. Life seems pretty easy. Abigail and Marston keep arguing. I wonder why exactly he came back. He cannot seem to decide if he wants to be a father to that boy of his or not. The arguing is exhausting, and I heard talk of a man sounded like Trelawney, but we haven't seen him for many months. He disappears and comes back a lot. Trelawney does. Jose and I are onto something pretty big. It might be a lot of cash coming in to do with a real estate scam Hosea thinks he may have discovered. I am not sure yet. The perfect crime, we think, one where we rob crooks. We are being real careful. It's fun working with Hosea again. The man is an artist of nonsense. Even if nothing comes of it, we are having an amusing enough time. It's good to be running scams again. Hosea is a born huckster. He is getting anxious, worried that by lingering in town we are going to bring undue attention to ourselves. But Dutch thinks he is also onto something big. His words, not mine. A bank money being brought in by boat. Apparently. So for now we are working on both things and seeing what happens. Plan is to flee west into the desert country someplace if we can. Micah and Dutch are planning to rob the ferry in town. They think it's laden with riches, cash coming in for the banks coming in by boat. For once, I am not getting involved in the job. Jose and I are too taken up with our business, which I believe could go very well, and Dutch seems confident that the group assembled all will be okay. That with the group assembled all will be okay. Plan is for them to carry out the job, then flee into the wilderness out to the west. The next day, Jose and I can carry out our scam and join them. Dutch seems happy and excited. He's talking again about California, but he's also talking about a lot of other places too. He always talks about different places they could go. We have been running for weeks. Running more than usual. The job they was pulling in Blackwater, robbing that ferry, it turned into a disaster. Young Jenny got killed, poor thing, while Sean and Mac both got arrested or killed. Nobody seems to know which. Dutch shot a girl. I am not too sure if by accident or by design, and it seems like it might have been a setup. We took to the hills in an almighty scramble, leaving money and most of our things behind. That was when we went to Coulter. Then, as we were fleeing east over the Grizzlies, an almighty storm hit us. Davy Callender, who had got shot in the gut on the raid, passed away, and it was brutal to watch, and the rest of us nearly froze, but we found shelter and have been resting here in some old abandoned mining town while we await the thaw. Hardly the spring I had been hoping for. Hosea and I had been planning a robbery of our own in Blackwater, but I guess that's been abandoned along with most of what I owned. I am profoundly concerned as to what happens next. Once we leave this place, or the law finds us cowering up here, I found a girl, well, a woman, I should say. Her husband had been murdered by some of Como Driscoll's boys. Nasty business. And then frickin' what's-his-face accidentally burnt down their house. Writing out. Leviticus Cornwall. Ridge, Leviticus Cornwall. Seems Como Driscoll had the same idea as us. He's been hiding up here, scouting out a train he wanted to rob. We bumped into some of his boys at some farmstead they was robbing. Found that poor woman whose husband they had murdered, and she's now riding with us, as she ain't got no place better to be. Then Dutch being Dutch, and his hatred for Colm being just as powerful as ever it was, a whole bunch of us went to pay him a visit in his camp, but he escaped. We grabbed one of his boys. Poor bastard ain't spoken yet, but he will once we freeze him a little, then set Bill on him. Been a bad few weeks, but we're mostly still alive. Dutch being Dutch is busy making plans and figuring out just how we're going to survive, and Dutch being Dutch, those plans involve robbery and dreams. Always with him. Finally, a thaw in this god-awful weather. We got off the mountain and rode east into some pretty enough country called the Heartlands. Ain't been this far east in many a year. Hosea seems to know the country a little. I ain't been much of a spring. Now holed up at a place called Horseshoe Overlook, outside of some dumpy little cattle town called Valentine. Dutch seems a little better. His eyes are sparkling once more, and I can see he's thinking a little clearer. I think we all feel a little happier in spite of Blackwater and that whole mess. Headed into Valentine with Uncle and the girls. Girls went scouting out work while Uncle and I had a few drinks, and he explained more of his theories on existence and barefaced lies about his past. Things took a strange turn. Some fella seemed to recognize me, or us, from Blackwater. I guess we had been holed up there too long while Hosea and I scouted the job that never was. I chased that bastard. Yeah, and you caught him. And he nearly fell off a cliff. I spared him, and he gave me an ink pen. I hope I won't regret my latency, but I reckon he got the scare of his life. Jimmy Brooks was his name. At least we wrote down his name. Took a day off and went off hunting with Hosea. He really seems to be getting his strength back a bunch, although he was lucky not to die, as this big bear he'd been after turned on us. I thought when we was stuck up in the mountains that the cold and the misery would kill us, and we'd bury him like we buried Jenny and Davy. But he pulled through, and he's still alive a while yet. That's good, because I like Hosea. I love Dutch like a father, but in many ways I love Hosea even more. He's kind and fair and like a human being. Dutch is something else. This bear was also something else. Size of a goddamn hotel it was, and mean it with it. Yes, it was, but at least we killed it. I met a lady, Deborah something or other, seemed to be more mad than sane, but I don't have much frame of reference for scientists. Wanted me to see if I could help her find dinosaur bones and send her the details. Maybe. If I find some, sure. Met some old drunk in Valentine, claimed he was a shootist, seemed more like a clown. Some poor fool was writing a book about him, or trying to. Levin was the name of the writer. Jim Calloway was the killer, apparently. Apparently Levin needs more information. He asked me to find a few folk who have spent more time in publicity than me and knew old Jim back when he was a real killer. Their names are Emmett Granger, Flacco Hernandez, Billy Midnight, and Black Bill, and we've already met Emmett Granger. Sound like a troop of clowns. We shall see what kinds of people those who want to be famous murderers is. My hopes are not too high. Well, you found one, so you know what they're kind of like now. Found an odd-looking corpse, something stuffed into the mouth. Couldn't make sense of it. Not yet, anyway. Herr Strauss is back lending money, and I'm back collecting it. The work mostly revolves around me and shames me. However, somehow, robbing people honestly with a gun and fists is less repellent than robbing them fully in accordance with the law. It'll be the usual sort of desperados, sick farmers, pregnant maids, lovesick young men, and other dupes desperate enough and stupid enough to take Strauss's terms. A user's life may be a comfortable one, but it is foul work. And these are the things we found. Hosea and I went robbing just like the old days. A father and son pair of clowns at some farmhouse stole a wagon, sold it to some rat Hosea had met at some odd place called Emerald Ranch. What goes on there, I cannot tell, but this little purchaser of stolen goods had us go rob his own family. Even by my standards, that was low, but the father and son we robbed was proof that even God makes mistakes sometimes. Oh, it's nighttime now. Hosea performed brilliantly as some kind of huckster selling restorative cure to crooks' backs. Well, the whole thing was utterly ridiculous and brilliant. It was. Como Driscoll slipped through our fingers once more, and I saw my own life slip through mine. That gentle buffoon we kidnapped up in the mountains took us to a cabin. We were planning to kill Colm, but he had just gone elsewhere. We shot a bunch of his boys, and one was about to end my life when Kieran shot him. This feud it's bled out from Dutch and Colm's mutual hatred into a loathing that permeates all of us and all of them. Still, I found quite a shotgun in the cabin. I did indeed. Madame Granger, I cannot think of a single man I have enjoyed seeing dead more than this bastard. Pig shit and hatred, and he still threw a knife at me. He didn't throw a knife. Your horse's stamina will feel slower while its stamina core is low. Yes, I know. I need to feed you. Get off. Get off. Let's do that right now. Sorry if you guys don't like me reading that stuff, but I like to read all I can when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like the backstories and what they think and what the characters think and all that stuff.
Alright, girl.
Alright, now let's go back to where we were going. And because we can't sell that frickin' wagon now since we died, we're going to go to the regular fence and sell some of our stolen goods. So let's go do that real quick. Gotta go this way. Where are we going? Across an area we haven't been. That's good. So keep it in. It's already nighttime. I hear coyotes. Game is very, very beautiful, even to this day. Bye-bye, people. Don't care what you gotta say. Turn around this way. Don't crash. What is that? Oh, somebody's camping. This way. What? What?
You gotta help me out here, mister. Can you? Please?
What?
I've been on the run for days now. If you could help me with these shackles, I just might have a chance.
Depends on if you're gonna try to kill me or something. Hi.
Shoot the chains off, please. I'm done for otherwise.
Alright, fine.
Jesus!
There. You're free. I'll go. Get out of here. What? You didn't even give me anything or say anything. You just took off. Rude. Anyway, in the next episode, we will continue on to the regular fence and sell some stuff and continue on from there. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you like what you see, I suggest you subscribe to my channel so you can see new videos I post every single day. And if you really like the videos, I'd really like it if you could leave a thumbs up and a comment. That way I could have some interaction on my channel and know that people are actually watching and actually care. And if you want to know when I post my videos, exactly when I post them, the best way to do that is to turn on your notifications as well. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.